Hi guys, it's Dylan from Bijou Diamond Jewellery in London with another watch video, and today we're taking a look at a special watch from Breitling, and that is the Breitling Premier Bentley Mulliner Chronograph. So as with all my reviews, let's go back in time and take a look at the history of this watch. We're actually not going to look at the history of the watch, we're going to look at the history of the car that this is based off, because the history of the watch is pretty limited and there's not much of it. So the car that this is based off is actually the Bentley Continental GT Mulliner Convertible, which is a new car from Bentley. And this car is actually a really special, important car for Bentley. It's not just a standard production car. It has a lot of meaning to them. So we're going to go back in time now and take a look at their relationship between or look at the relationship between Mulliner and Bentley. So Mulliner was a family, a coachworks family or coachmaking family from back in the 1500s. Sorry, they actually started in 1559 coach building. They had contracts with Royal Mail, so actually manufacturing the coaches for Royal Mail and also maintaining them. They had various other big contracts over the years. And by the 1870s, one of the members of the family decided that they want to concentrate more so on actual vehicles with mechanical propulsion. So things like cars and trains, they wanted to look at specifically that area of coach building. And over the years, they developed different relationships and created different cars. But one of the most important relationships they create started actually in 1923, which is when they first started to collaborate with Bentley. They made their first car together with Bentley in 1923, which was a really cool looking car. I'll put that on screen for you to see now. Again, with beautifully crafted interior on that car, which obviously was credit to Mulliner. Later in 1959, Malina and Bentley formed a proper bond together and actually started to officially work together, on all future projects. In fact, so much so that Mulliner moved into the Bentley factory and made their own section within the Bentley factory. Nowadays in Bentley, Mulliner is actually responsible for all the kind of custom or super bespoke cars for Bentley. I know Rolls-Royce has their version. I can't remember the exact name Rolls-Royce uses. So your opportunities for customization are limitless with Mulliner. They've kind of maintained their exquisite craftsmanship, their incredible coach building that they learned or maintained back in the 1500s all the way to now. So that's really the history of the company that this is based off. This car, this special edition GT Continental, is kind of a nod to their relationship with Mulliner over the years and kind of a thank you in a way. Mulliner obviously worked on this car and put some accents on it that really means something to them. And the watch from Breitling, this watch has kind of replicated many of those accents on the car. It's really in a way a nod to that car itself also. So let's take a look at some of the features on this watch. We're going to start with the clasp. As always, the clasp on this watch is a really lovely, simple, beautifully machined deployment clasp. I absolutely love this clasp. Very, very easy to use, twin trigger, very understated, subtle, not too big and bulky. It's actually just a perfect clasp. It's really, really nice. It's obviously adjustable also in the fact that you can use the pins, so it's kind of got a pin buckle style to it, but the convenience of a deployment buckle, which is just really, really useful. Moving on to our leather strap, we've got a really nice luxurious navy leather strap, which looks great on this watch with the kind of blue accents on the dial. Really, really like the strap. Next, moving on to our case. The case on this watch is a really interesting case. It's kind of quite classic looking for Breitling. Breitling usually goes for very big, bulky cases, kind of, instrument style cases. So 48 millimeters, 47 millimeters. This is pretty conservative for them. This is actually 42 millimeters, but wears more like a 41, I'd say. It's actually got a really nice classic case design too. The elegant, it's much more elegant than a lot of their cases that Breitling does. There are some interesting accents on this watch as well. We've got a mixture of brushed and polished finishing. Actually, on the left-hand side of the watch, we have a plaque that says Bentley, which is in a swirly effect, kind of similar to what they finish in movement. It's actually based off the dash on a Bentley. That's where they've got the swirly effect from, which is a nice little accent on the watch. The watch also features a clear crystal case back so we can see the movement. It also tells you, this is a 1 of 1,000 piece watch collection or edition. It's only limited to 1,000 pieces, so it's a pretty limited edition from Breitling. Really, really cool piece in that respect. The fact that it's not just a mass-made watch, like the Bentleys aren't mass-made either. Moving on to our dial now, we've got a really nice classic looking dial. It definitely is, or definitely has kind of automotive vibes about it. Obviously being a chronograph is, chronographs really are the automotive complication for watches. So yeah, that was obviously a good decision from them. I love the accents of red, blue and kind of silvery white on this watch, which is exactly the same on the actual car itself. The car is blue with many beautiful accents of red and white inside it. On the interior, this watch kind of really is reminiscent of the interior. I absolutely love the details with the brush finishing as well on the actual dial. It just looks really, really slick and kind of classic, which again, like I said, not really Breitling. In many ways, they kind of look to more futuristic, crazy looking watches. Yeah, overall, it definitely has many accents that are reminiscent of the car it's based off, which is really cool. And I like the fact that Breitling has maintained it to be a 1,000 piece collection rather than raising it to just a standard model within their collection. I think that makes it a bit more special. Moving on now to whether or not I would own this watch. I possibly would own this watch. It wouldn't be my first choice in this kind of price bracket. I think there's other watches I prefer to own, but of Breitlings, this is definitely one of my favorite Breitlings out there. I think it's a great looking watch. I love the fact they've gone more classic with this piece and it really, really works. The design is actually, I'd say, one of the best Breitlings in the collection by a long, long way. This one unfortunately is sold now with us and supply on these watches is limited, but please do get in contact if you are interested in this watch. As always, if you've got any other questions about any other watches in the Breitling collection, or if you'd like us to call one of those models into stock for you, then please let us know. Our details are in the description, and at the end of the video, it'd be a pleasure to help you out.